Hello.
Hey.
Welcome back.
So here we are in front of a collection of some of the masks that we own at NMSA. These 5 right here were donated by a wonderful, wonderful man to us a few years ago.
We use them a lot in our actual performances. So these are actually made out of leather, okay? And so you can see on the inside, and they have a little strap on them. And they are fairly durable. They look like they're not, but since they're leather, they're a little bit pliable, so we can use them and we can play with them. And then we do performances wearing them.
We've actually done an entire play in this style, and this style of theater is called Commedia dell'arte. So this goes back to 16th century Italy, when there were traveling troupes of actors, each one portraying a specific character, wearing a specific mask.
And they would do that same character for years.
Sometimes for their entire lives. So Commedia dell'arte, we have a capitano, we have a zani, we have another zani, and we have sort of another capitano, different style. In the middle, we're going to start with a neutral mask.
A neutral mask, you'll see. Barbara's going to demonstrate. You can see her body, okay? But as you see this mask, there's no real expression to it. You can't tell if it's angry, if it's sad. It's what we call neutral.
So when we take a neutral mask, neutral in the theater is basically signifies that you are ready. You are in a state of readiness. Anything can happen. Anything is possible. The possibilities are limitless. So when we start with a neutral mask, we start with absolutely anything happening. When we look at a mask, we first introduce ourselves to it. So we take a moment to look at the mask, to see what the facial expression is like, to kind of imagine in our minds what it might look like on our face.
Now Barbara's going to turn around, because you never put on a mask when you're facing the audience. You put it on, and you'll see that her body's going to go to neutral. So there's no expression, she's not angry, her weight is evenly distributed, she's relaxed, she will turn around, and now she is in neutral. There's no real expression that's going through there. This is what we use to get the body, as Barbara said, neutral, meaning now you can put on a character. And so she's going to turn back around and remove her mask, because, again, you never put on your mask or remove it when you're facing the audience. Great, Barbara, thank you.
Thank you.
So she's going to go to a different mask right now and basically go through the same process, but now you really get to see the body. As you can see, this one doesn't have the mouth covered, okay? So she will be able to talk. She's studying it right now. She's looking at see what kind of personality it might be telling her, what she sees in it. There's texture, there's color, there's different planes on it. Now she's at neutral, and then she puts on the mask. And now you will see how the mask influences her body, from the top of her head to her toes. So this is how we create characters using the Commedia masks. And now the voice. Okay, the voice is not separate. It is influenced by the mask and the body. So,
Hello!
what is your name?
My name is Benedict. What's yours?
And then she's going to turn around again. Again, away from the audience. She removes her mask, and you will see her go back into her neutral state. The body relaxed and at neutral. Beautiful work, Barbara. Thank you.
Thank you, Joey.
Can I use this one?
Yeah, go right ahead and show this one. This is a capitano mask from the Commedia dell'arte. Note the very long nose. Capitano is a soldier. He's the braggart soldier. And he is very, very brave and very, very powerful, except when something happens to frighten him. And then his true nature comes out, and he's really not that brave. So watch as Joey's body changes to embody Capitano's bravery and power, and he feels very brave. Ha! And his voice. Oh, but Capitano, there's a mouse here! And then he turns around, goes back to neutral, takes off the mask, and moves on. That's Capitano.
What's that one?
Ooh, this one is very cool. This is a replica. Now, this is not an original like these. This is not handcrafted, but this is a replica of what is called a plague mask. In the Middle Ages, theaters were shut down a lot because of plague. And the doctors, so that they wouldn't catch the plague, wore a special kind of mask. Notice how long the beak is. At the end of the beak, there are breathing holes, but they also filled that with special medicines, herbs and tinctures and all kinds of things, so that the doctor could breathe in good, healthy medicine and not get sick.
We just wanted to share this with you because you can see these in textbooks, the plague mask.
Great. So those are some examples of masks that are used and have been used throughout history. Commedia dell'arte, still performed today. We have a lot of characters that we recognize in Commedia dell'arte, and they were all mask wearing.
And some characters you see on television,
Yeah.
if you see a series and you see the characters over and over, they're not wearing masks, but you can see how they like create their own kind of physicality and their
Exactly.
own voices.
Yeah.
Like Big Bang Theory, one of mine, they're all very different, but they stay consistent with their characters that they have developed. So mask development, neutral, character, historical. Okay, so these are the masks that we have here for you today. Good job.
Exactly.
So what you see before us now is a collection of masks that we actually have here at the New Mexico School for the Arts. These are from Mexico, Guatemala.
Here are some more examples of those Commedia dell'arte masks we were telling you about.
Barbara's favorite.
This is my favorite. His name is Il Dottore. He speaks Latin. Who speaks Latin anymore? He talks a lot about a lot of subjects and makes you think that he knows a lot.
But he doesn't know anything.
He doesn't know
But he
anything.
knows.
So he's very funny. This is Dottore with his big bulby nose.
This one, okay, I really like this one. He's got a little like, tongue dangling out here. This one is made of wood. This is wood here. And so we have some more collections of masks with expression. Okay, these are all the half mask again. These actually do have a little mouth hole right down here. You just can't see it. And more examples of character masks. I mean, look at these guys here.
You can really get a sense of what kind of a character is this guy here or this one. He looks a little sleepy.
This is an Italian mask that you might wear at a masquerade or a ball. People would really dress up in extravagant costumes. They would hide themselves and they would go to these great fancy balls and dance all night long.
Wait, kind of like the ball in Romeo and Juliet? When Romeo and Juliet meet each other for the very first time, they're both wearing ornate, magical, golden masks, kind of like this one.
Yeah, the masks have been used for centuries. This is a coconut. Okay, so it's not really a mask, but we like it because she's cute. And she brings a lot of life into the room here. Again, an example of
the neutral mask. Remember, when you stay in neutral and your body is ready for anything.
Great. Then moving on, again, the plague mask. And then these here, so Barbara's going to demonstrate these. These are called larval masks, and we use them to train the body of the actor. Because there's no mouth hole in this one, you're going to see that there's nothing there. There's just the eyes. So now it's all up to the body of the person who wears it. So we use these in training. Because in theater, you have to really get to use your body and your imagination in putting things together. So now you see that Barbara has really created a character. One of the things about a neutral mask, larval mask, is you can't really show the profile. Okay, it's almost forbidden. So she's going to have to almost walk sideways. So in this style of mask, you always face the audience so that that is seen. Again, her body is influenced by the mask, and she can't talk using it. So she will remove it, and again, she's gone back to neutral. I know you hear this word a lot, but it's a good place to start. And then, more examples of masks. Oh, and here's one I really like. Okay, this one might be worn or held at a ball. Okay, this one's much easier to handle, and you can imagine it's easier to eat and drink when you just move your mask out of the way. So that's done there. And these are masks that were made by students in Artesia. So the same materials that you have in your packet are on this wall right here. So literally like the king there, there's this character here that I really like. I don't know if you can see him, but he's fabulous. He's got these little whiskers, and so I like wearing him.
He's like a little man, a little guy with a mustache. And then you see on the wall, we have the words that we've been using all day. Ceremony,
Ritual,
myth,
entertainment,
and the most important word of all, imagination.
And that's all you need to create your own mask and to perform in your mask.
Thank you, Joey.
Thank you, Barbara. Good luck. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for being a part of our mask workshop today.
Really appreciate you being here and allowing us to share what we do with you.
We really hope you had as much fun watching as we had in doing this. And now your teacher will let you know how to share your work in the online gallery. Again, thank you so much.